live.
You sure? It's
Positive.
it's possible.
It's positive. I see green dots popping up
Okay.
left hand side of the screen. So I guess how should we do this? I mean, obviously, usually when I start off a podcast, I always start off with the welcome back. But today is going to be a little bit of a different day, a unique day. You know, a day when you kind of look down and you pee on a stick and you look for these multiple different pink lines, and then when you see these double lines, and then you're just like, wow, I'm about to be a daddy.
It's exciting. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm trying to multitask to share there. I was kind of wondering how you were going to introduce that. Yeah, we're making a brain baby, y'all.
Yes, yes.
Can you believe it?
Yeah. So those that have heard me speak about branding before, and I always put a little sense of humor into it, and it's about collaborating with partners, and I always look at the partners as like parents, and then you create a brand baby when you bring two brands together to essentially create a whole new thing, a whole new creation, a whole new life. So DeFranco and I, through random conversations on the internet, one day we just said, okay, well, what? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Let's just do it. So we made a brand baby. So if you're looking on the top right of my screen, you can kind of see what that brand baby looks like. And obviously, we're going to do more posts and more content is going to come out from it. But we decided to come together and come up with a solution to not only help authors and help publishers and help writers, but put both of our brains together. And I would say, like, look at this as the yin and yang coming together to create this new publication. And this brand is going to be called, well, I will let DeFranco tell you what the name of the brand is.
Um, Brave Boss Press, you guys. And those who have followed me for a minute or two know that I'm addicted to names.
Yes.
I am a headline title, book title geek. And this was just such a no-brainer. Brave Boss Press. Yeah, I love it. I'm really excited. We got to meet each other at the Badass Business Summit a couple years ago, whenever that was, in the middle of the time warp. And I knew that there was something there in terms of bringing our knowledge bases together. And I'm honored to be here, SA. Thank you for who you are and what you do in the world, for the way that you do what you do in the world, for the mindset that you practice every day, just for being the badass, awesome person that you are. Honestly, this is an awesome dream brand baby, you guys. Can't wait to tell you more.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely want people to kind of like break it down. I mean, Laura has essentially she's published 50 books. I mean, your 50th book is about to come out in like the next 30 days, right? So you've been
Yes,
publishing
sir.
for a period of time on a prolific level to where, most people would think, hey, I published a book, right? And people that follow me, they know I'm working on my ninth and 10th books, and it's like, wow, that's a lot. But in reality, I want you to look at this badass boss and realize that she's published 50 books, and it's not just her publishing the books for herself. She's gotten to the point to where she's pooling together multiple different authors to publish their books. So she's taking it to like the next level. And I've published a couple other people's books here and there. I've published all my books, but again, we have so many different strategies and so many different overlapping methodologies that it only made sense to bring both these hemispheres together to put our best foot forward. So let's talk about like what are we going to be delivering through this new boss baby.
Yeah, I don't want you all to just publish your books. I want you to have a thriving business that leaves a legacy. And SA agrees with me there that, you need a lot more pieces than maybe you think. And so we are going to be doing some amazing things. We're writing a book, we're starting a mastermind, and that's just the beginning. So, what kind of details should we give them?
Well, if you ever listen to either one of us, like we jump and then we figure things out and then we mold it and transform it into something that's definitely valuable and fruitful. So being that I'm a podcaster, and I was just like, look, we should definitely do a book, and we got the book. We're doing the mastermind, we're doing the courses, And I was like, well, let's document the process of documenting the process, and let's start recording this content as far as like a podcast format, and use that content for multiple different aspects, whether it's going to be an audio book or whatever else it is. So we've also started a podcast as well, kind of indirectly, and it's going to be like more so like a limited podcast to kind of talk about the chapter structures of the book, kind of telling you our stories. What is our definition of particular words? Like, what is a publisher? Obviously, you could look it up on Webster, but we both have lived the publishing to another extent, so we kind of redefine what that publishing really is, and we break that down in more layman terminology to give you the best value to get the best foot moving forward.
Man, so I'm listening to you and all your genius strategy, business strategy, and I want you all to know that, we're going to take the stuff that we know and we're going to pay it forward to you in all of these different ways. And that, even just now, you talking about what you decided to do in terms of recording is brilliant. Like, people pause. Did you hear what he just said? Because the next time you guys are creating something, you're going to want to think about this, and you will be thanking essay like 3 million times later. But, we have 50 come November 1st Amazon best-selling books out there. I know how to do that part. The business stuff was self-taught. And when you bring that strategy and know-how together with essays strategy and know-how in terms of the business, you are not going to find anything more comprehensive, or with the passion behind it, than you will here with us.
Yep, and I think that kind of goes to what we were talking about earlier. Before we got on this particular video, we had did a episode for the podcast, and we were just talking about like the root of what we're doing and why we're doing it is twofold. One is passion, and two is legacy. So what we're bringing to the table is two people that are 100% engulfed in passion and engulfed in legacy, that is going to not only educate you on strategy and educate you on systems, but through the mindset of both of us, that we understand at the end of the day that you can't live forever, and there's only one opportunity in order for you to have that presence live on past once you're dead and gone. And hence why we said, okay, let's bring these two minds together and create this brand baby and execute the plan of action to create legacies.
Yeah, I mean, books are a legacy business, you guys. They are a legacy business, but you're writing books and you're just putting them out there and you're struggling to get the word out. You're not in the mindset of that bigger vision that we will infuse into you after you start to hear some of the content that we have to offer moving forward. We want you to be filled with that excitement. Yes, you're writing a book, it's a business, whether you think it or not. And it can either be a kind of business, or it can be a thriving legacy kind of business. We want that for everybody who does this.
Hmm. And those that are authors that are maybe you're thinking about writing a book, well, think about maybe becoming a publisher and write your own book, right? I mean, it's a step above, but you'll get so much more from becoming a publisher than just becoming an author. And I want you to understand that there's a difference between the two. A publisher essentially not only is publishing their own content, but you can leverage what you've learned from publishing your own content to help other people publish theirs. And that way, what you're doing becomes bigger than yourself. It's not just you publishing your content, it's you helping the world around you, your community of people, your tribe of people to get to their next level.
And we were both on the same page about the why, part of the why behind what we do in our businesses. And that was to help others have that stage, to help others get their work out into the world in a bigger way. There's a big ripple there, right? I know for both of us. And so we would love for you all to have that kind of feeling too. That, I don't know about USA, but that feeling is what drives me on the hard days. And there's going to be some tough days. But if you have that fire, that fuel underneath you, that bigger vision, that goosebumpy kind of passion and energy, then those tough days, you get through them easier.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, I think if you look at it from the standpoint of like what we're doing right now, obviously, like we both have businesses of our own, we both have our own successes, but by reaching out and communicating with someone else and networking and building, you're building something that's not only larger than you, but now you have a compounding effect, right? My community, your community, and being able to influence both those communities together as a whole with this new information, this new content, this new point of views. Because what we've learned in the 2 episodes that we've done in the podcast so far is like we bounce ideas almost seamlessly in conversation, like we're doing right now. Like as soon as I'm done, I'm sure Dolores is going to pick up, and I don't have to give her a cue, and she doesn't have to give me a cue. It happens naturally. So when you find like this balance of equilibrium with someone else, and it relates to business, it makes it not only fun but also highly effective.
Yes, favorite thing ever. I am a product of the energy of collaboration. The business I have is a product of the energy of collaboration. It's so much bigger than just one person. I'm like sitting here thinking, man, these people, I know you're all going to be fired up about this. And we don't really have any place for them to go yet, do we? To get more information. How are we?
Yeah, but I mean, this is more so like the general announcement. I mean, obviously, knowing both of us marketer wise, obviously there's going to be landing pages and there's going to be opt-ins and there's going to be more communication. We just wanted to kind of, what I should have done is I should have literally went and got me like a pregnancy stick, and I should have like highlighted it, made it pink just to kind of get the shock value out, because this is just more so like a general announcement. We're not asking for any opt-ins right now. Again, we're just informing you to let you know that this is happening. This baby is on the way. It is coming. And obviously, we already started working behind the scenes. We already announced the fact that we're releasing a book. We already announced that we're going to be releasing a mastermind. We already announced that we're going to have a podcast. And again, all these elements, if you know either one of us, like we're well deep into creating the content. We already started creating the content for all of them. So next step would be more marketing, more conversations about, hey, this is where you go. This is where the website is. This is how you check out information. But again, we want to be a documented journey. We just don't want to pop up on a random Tuesday and be like, here, everyone, this came from nowhere overnight. We want you to be part of this process so you can feel like you're part of our journey, because our journey is your journey.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Damn, I should have pulled out my ancient this. I'm going to age myself. My ancient pregnancy stick. I could have done that.
Well, yeah, we can still do
uh,
it. We can still do it images, right? We can just do
okay.
still shots and still play, because I mean, based upon the algorithm, not everyone's going to see this video right now. So
And I think if you guys know SA a little bit, you know me a little bit, you know that we're going to have some fun. So like none of this is worth your time, energy, or effort unless you're having some fun. And we want to have some fun with you too. But we also know that you need the strategy and the resources, and you need the mindset building, and you need the business stuff. You need the publishing stuff. You need so much of that. And I know from what I did, I think SA knows from what he has done, and it's rare to get it all in one. And I think that's just one of the biggest gifts that we're giving.
yep, yep. And I think there are communities as well too. I mean, if you haven't realized lately, I've been doing way more work and way more diligence in like my book group, for example, and just building it and building it. And again, this is a byproduct of that. It's kind of like, how do I give enough value to make the people inside that group get to the next level? Some of them are already authors, some of them are already publishers per se, but how do we help them grow? How did they get to 50 books? How did they get to 500 books? And earlier on, DeFranco was saying that her goal and aspirations is to get to 1,000 books, right? And I think obviously that's going to change. She's probably going to 2 years from now probably say 5,000 when she hits 1,000 in the next 24 months, right? So think about like stretching your vision, and I think you really spoke about that really well today on the podcast episode, just about stretching your vision. So why don't we go into like talk about that and then probably close out?
Vision is everything, y'all, and you need it to be a little bit bigger than what you're thinking. So you have your vision for your business, for your life. Well, I want you to jump into your discomfort zone a little bit, dream bigger than that. And I'll give Donnie Bovina a little shout out here, because he said the words to me at one point. He's like, you got to dream, you got to vision even bigger than this. And I was like, well, we're going to push out 2 books a month. And he's like, well, what would it look like if you were doing 4 a month? And I'm like, fuck, like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but I am willing to ask the question. And I want you all to ask yourself a bigger question. Like, what's the bigger vision? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we're living that example, right? I mean, again, individually, we have our own brands, we have our own missions, we have our own visions, but coming together, it amplifies that. And I want you to kind of think about, again, you're going to hit hurdles, you're going to hit particular times where you're going to be scared or fearful, but there's always going to be opportunity for you to then get over that. And when the faster you get over that, is the faster you're going to get to the next level to achieve whatever your goals and aspirations are.
And this whole thing started from that post you put in your book club group. You know that, right?
Yeah, yeah, which is funny, right? It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about the book club group. But I'm trying to remember the post. The post was I asked a
You
question.
called me out. You're
Yeah, I
like,
did.
hey, who else is a publisher? And I'm like, oh, look at that, right? And that was smart, right? Because he caught my attention by tagging me in that post. And I was interested in the subject. And then I ended up messaging you that day. And here we are. How many days later? Holy moly.
I would say it's maybe about 2 weeks or something. I don't know. It was really quick though. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
but it kind of goes to show when you have that question about the social media work, how do you use social media is dictates how it works for you. You just have to keep that in mind. If you're just publishing BS all the time, then you're gonna get BS back in. But if you're publishing content and you're asking questions and you're talking to your tribe and like she said, I asked a question that was definitely related directly to her and I tagged her about it. It wasn't just a random post and a random tag.
Yeah. No, don't post bullshit, you guys. I mean, come on.
Yeah, literally. So again, I guess going into closer, we just wanted to just make the announcement that we're having a brand baby. The name of the brand baby is going to be Brave Boss Press, and if you know both of our brands, it makes perfect sense how the words just work together seamlessly without even having to think about it. And obviously, you can kind of see the logo, but start looking out for information, look out for emails, look out for more posts. Because if you know both of us, we're going to have content about this. We're going to have marketing strategies behind it. But again, we just wanted to pop the bubble to let you know that we're pregnant. Yay.
Yippee. Can't wait for more.
Cool. All right, that's it, guys. See you guys soon on the other side. S.A. Grant, over and out.